Welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows.
Well, at the end of my last garden update video, there was only 1 or 2 blossoms out on this Amaryllis, and I wanted to show it to you when it was in full bloom. All 8 are out this morning. Let's see if I can give it a little turn around. It's a beautiful thing. It's just a shame that they don't last all that long.
This is March 16th, so these geraniums germinated 10 days ago, I guess. But I want to show you what is happening to them. I don't know if it's showing up on here or not. There's so much light on them that they don't... they look better than they are. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Like this one here. And most of them, the 2 seed leaves have gone all brown, and this one back in here is practically dead. The seed leaf is anyway. Some of them are growing new permanent leaves, even though their seed leaves went that brown. I have been very careful. I never got the leaves wet anytime that I was watering them. I am using Miracle-Gro seed starting mix, and I'm thinking that's the problem. I'm not going to use it in any more of my seeds anyway. I've ordered another, well, Pro-Mix kind that I've used many times before. I've ordered some from Vessey's, and the Miracle-Gro is, well, I might use it as a potting mix later on, but I think there is something in the soil, some strong fertilizer or something that they've put in there, and it's destroying my geraniums. I don't know how many of them are going to survive, but that one looks pretty bad, except it's growing a new leaf. Like most of them, I think, have started to grow a new leaf, so they may survive it yet, but kind of disappointing after you put all that effort in. And I don't know, I've never had any problem with Miracle-Gro before, but I've certainly heard lots of people that have, and I'm just not going to trust it. I'm going to switch to a different seed starting mix before I start my peppers and tomatoes. Today is going to be harvest day for the lettuce. The larger plant, the one in behind there, is really starting to bolt. And some of the bottom leaves, not nice though, some of the bottom leaves are dying off. From lack of light, I would say, more than anything else. But soon I'm going to need this space when I start my peppers and tomatoes. So this will be disassembled at that time anyway. Yeah, that one is starting to bolt. It hasn't yet. There's no flower or anything. It's got a trunk coming up through the middle of it. However, there'll be a nice big salad for dinner this evening. I will leave the kale a bit longer, and then I'll have one final harvest in the kale before I take this down and start other seedlings in this area. Well, carrying on with the update here in the house, I have done all of my spring transplanting for my indoor lemon tree and olive tree and herb garden here. I'll give you a little closer look at 1 or 2 of them in just a second, but you can see the 3 large pots, the blue ones, that one there and one there and one there. I put the 2 lemon trees and the olive tree in these extra large pots, probably twice as much soil as was in the other ones. As you can see, I didn't fill them to the top with soil, though. It makes it difficult to water, and also in future years, if I want to add a little top dressing to it with some compost or whatever, I can do that. But my ordinary lemon, which I don't know what it is, this one here, the light in here again, I don't know what you're actually seeing, that's grown from a seed of just a store-bought lemon generic variety. I don't know what the variety of the tree might have been. It hasn't lost a leaf since I transplanted it about a week ago now. And actually the growth that was starting to come in various places has really accelerated. It seems to like the new soil that I found for it. And this poor thing here, that is my Meyer lemon. You can just see that it has very few leaves. I guess it has lost one leaf since I transplanted it, but also the growth on it has really started to pick up. That's the growth on my olive tree. It's really doing quite well also since it's been transplanted. The little areas that had small leaves starting have just really taken off in only a week. So I think transplanting was what a lot of these things needed. And that's the bay laurel, the bay tree. It had just started to come out with new top growth on it when I transplanted it, and in a week's time they have just opened up, and it'll put on, well, normally when it was in the other pot it would put on 5 or 6 inches of new growth. So what it might do in this new soil, I don't know. It's in the pot, one of the pots that the lemon trees used to be in, which are again probably twice the size of the pot that it was in. And last but not least, my rosemary. I can't say as I see any great difference since I transplanted, other than it didn't curl up and die anyway. And it also is in one of the pots that the lemon trees used to be in, and it's again a good twice as big as what it used to be planted in. Today is March 28th, and I'm going to harvest the last of the kale. Have that with dinner this evening. I'm ready to remove the hydroponic setup, the cracky setup. I need the space coming right around now. Isn't that a nice bouquet of kale for dinner this evening? I have just transplanted my geranium seedlings into little individual pots of the new Pro Mix. I'll show you the product that I'm using. I said earlier, I think, that I would probably use the Miracle-Gro seed starter as a potting mix or whatever. After I have seen what I've just seen when I'm transplanting, these little seedlings have been up now for germinated about 3 weeks ago, or a little over 3 weeks ago. Practically no root structure. I lost quite a few of them completely. They shriveled up and died. And the ones that I've transplanted, I'm not sure all of them are going to make it or not. So the Miracle-Gro seed starting mix will be going in the garbage. This is the product that I just transplanted the geranium seedlings into. I've used it before and always had great success. It's just called Pro Mix. But it is also organic. It does have enough organic feed in there, it says, to last the average plant for 3 months. Well, you see the size of the pots I've put the geraniums in. They won't be in there 3 months. They'll be transplanted eventually into larger pots to grow on in if they survive. I'm assuming I'll have good luck with this just because I always have in the past. It's a little bit more expensive, especially having to get it shipped to me by mail. I found it in a garden center. It probably wouldn't have been so expensive, but garden centers are not open here yet. Probably won't be until sometime in early April. So that is the product, and now we'll show you the transplanted geraniums. I've already lowered the lights down on them, so hopefully you can see that, and the light hasn't changed the color of the plants too drastically. They're sitting in a little aluminum tray, and the reason for that was so I could bottom water them. The tray itself is sitting inside of the heavy plastic tray, which I can do bottom watering. I can flood it, and if it's full of pots of plants, they can be watered bottom up. But I didn't want to have to flood the entire tray, which is, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet long. So I put them in this thing temporarily and given them some warm water, and they're taking it up. Some of them I'm not too hopeful of. That one there's in focus. I don't think that will make it. Maybe none of them will make it. I don't know, but we made a valiant effort anyway at saving them. Well, happy April Fool's Day, April the 1st, and I'm planting my peppers, the latest I think I've ever planted my peppers. You can see the little tombstones at the end of each row here. I'm going to grow King of the North, a seed that I got from Annapolis Seed Company. I never have any luck with large green bell peppers. You know, they turn red or some other color when they ripen, but the large variety of bell peppers. I don't know if I'll have luck this year or not, but this is touted as a variety that grows very well in northern short climates, which is what I live in. So growing in the hoop house, I would hope sometime before fall that I might actually get a large bell pepper out of it. The next one is jalapeno, which in my mind will always be jalapeno, just because of some silly ad that was on television here years ago, advertising some kind of a product that had jalapeno peppers in it, and the lady pronounced it jalapeno. Well, that's stuck in my mind forever now. And it says these are a compact plant, heavy bearing, and early fruit. Medium heat. Well, we know that jalapeno is a medium heat. It's not really a hot chili, but I really like using them in things, and I haven't grown them in a number of years, so I will be attempting it this year anyway. Next to that is one called Aztec Rainbow, and that came to me via Southpaw Davy, and he was sharing seeds that Rob, the old gardener guy in Finland, sent him. So I have a few of those to give a try to. I've looked them up online. Very interesting plant. The pepper goes through several changes of color before it's finally ripe. And the last one is called Time Bomb. Sandra Higgs, one of my subscribers, sent me those seeds. And I thought for a while there, oh, that's one that I've grown before, but then I got thinking about it and looking at the seed packet this morning. They are from Vessey's, and the other ones that I grew were from Vessey's, but I think mine were called Cherry Bomb. So anyway, these are a cherry type red hot pepper, so look forward to seeing how they produce. I'm not going to make you watch me seed everything here, but starting with the northern, what's it called? King of the North. Game of Thrones type name for this pepper. If you're a Game of Thrones fan. I am going to seed these quite heavily. I don't have use for more than 4 or 5 of them, probably myself, but I have offered to supply some seedlings to the new community garden allotment type project that's taking place here on the island, so I will give them some peppers along with some of my tomatoes. I don't plan to start my tomatoes until the 15th of April, and as I said, I won't make you watch me do this for all the varieties, but I'll bring you back and show you the finished product here in a minute. They've all been planted, and they're on a propagating mat. Usually takes 10 days to 2 weeks usually, I think, with peppers. They're not that fast germinating. I'll put this little dome on, and that will help keep the humidity in there. They won't dry out. Sometimes on a propagating mat they're a bit quicker, but I suspect I will be able to show you something before I get this video put together and uploaded anyway. There should be some of them up before then. Let's have a look at the geraniums that I transplanted last week. Well, I think the proof is in the eating of the pudding thereof, or whatever the old expression goes. Got rid of the Miracle-Gro starting compound and used some of this Pro-Mix, the same thing that I just planted the peppers in. I was able to salvage 12, and I think out of the 12, 11 are looking like they're going to do all right. This one here, it has a little spot of green. I don't know if it's trying to grow a new leaf or not, but the 2 seed leaves have curled up and died on it, so I've probably lost that one. But they certainly appreciated getting into some better soil. This one here has really grown nicely. One back there too. They're putting on some decent sized leaves. They won't be going outdoors probably until close to the middle of June, so hopefully I'll have them large enough by then that we'll see some flowers sometime this summer. Let's have a look at my red flowering horse chestnuts. Well, the chestnut trees are continuing to do very well under lights. They seem to have reached a height of, oh, I don't know, not much over a foot, I don't think. Hard to tell with all those large leaves, and they have, I say stopped, I guess, really. I know when you plant one outside, it sort of has a program in it that it only goes that high in the first year. I've been worried that under lights in the house that they would really, take off and be out of control. But so far they're looking pretty good. I put a hand in there to give you an idea of what's happening here. Nice looking leaves, nice looking stem on the trees, whatever. The Chinese, or American Chinese, whatever they are, the little chestnuts that I got, been in the fridge, several months now. And the last time I checked was probably 10 days ago, but I don't think anything has happened. I think what I'm going to do is take them all out and plant them in probably just all in one of these bags. If anything should happen to come up, I'll dig it out and transplant it into its own bag if there's more than one of the things that germinate. But I'm not looking for anything great to happen, but I think I'll get them out of the refrigerator anyway. They've been there long enough. They certainly have gone through a cold period. Well, I was surprised when I checked my Chinese American chestnuts, whatever they are. The American chestnuts that I ordered on Amazon that arrived from China. Whatever they are, I don't know. But out of the 10, 7 of them have sprouted. And I believe when I did the float test on them, there was at least 3 that didn't float. And that seems to be a good indicator as to whether or not they will sprout. If they sink, they will sprout. If they float, generally speaking, they won't. So I think I had 3 floaters when I tested them back in the fall sometime. And I have just enough soil right now to plant 5 of them, I guess. I ran out of potting mix, but I'll save the other 2 in the refrigerator, and when I get some more potting mix, I'll plant those up as well. Well, it's April 4th, and I'm just about to close this video down and get it processed and up on YouTube. What you're looking at is the little geranium that I thought for sure was the one I was going to lose. Out of the 12 that I managed to repot, and I'm not so sure that you can see in this close-up because this camera doesn't do very clear close-ups. Obviously the 2 seed leaves have died, but in the very center there is a new leaf coming up right there, but I don't think it'll show in the video here, but it appears as so. Keep my fingers crossed. I might get 12 out of this. Well, that was just the last little bit of what's happening in my indoor gardening here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll get this video up on YouTube.